Ṭhākura Swaparshada Śrīla Saha Avatari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Daya Koi Swaparshada Śrīla Saha Avatari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Daya Koi Swaparshada Śrīla Saha Avatari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Daya Koi Swaparshada Śrīla Saha Avatari Atyanta Durlabha Prema Purivarena Shikhaye Sharanagati Katera Pran Atyanta Durlabha Prema Purivarena Shikhaye Sharanagati Katera Pran Atyanta Durlabha Prema Purivarena Shikhaye Sharanagati Katera Pran Atyanta Durlabha Prema Purivarena Shikhaye Sharanagati Katera Svanya Atma Nivedana Bhakti Premana Avashya Rakshire Krishna Vishwasapana Svanya Atma Nivedana Bhakti Premana Avashya Rakshire Krishna Vishwasapana Bhakti Anukula Matra Karye Rasika Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Vajanamika Bhakti Anukula Matra Karye Rasika Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Vajanamika Sharanga Sharanagati Hoibe Jaha Tahara Prarthana Shune Srinanda Kumar Sharanga Sharanagati Hoibe Jaha Tahara Prarthana Shune Srinanda Kumar Sharanga Sharanagati Hoibe Jaha Tahara Prarthana Shune Srinanda Kumar Sharanga Sharanagati Hoibe Jaha Tahara Prarthana Shune Srinanda Kumar Rupa Sanatana Pade Bhante Pranadhari Bhakti Vinoda Bhore Vipadadhari Sanatana Pade Bhante Pranadhari Bhakti Vinoda Bhore Vipadadhari Kandiya Kandiya bole ami to adhama Shikhaye Sharanagati Guru he uttama Kandiya Kandiya
this is a very beautiful bhajan composed by Śrīla Ṭhākura Mahārāj. Śrīla Ṭhākura has written this bhajan describing what is Sharanagati. What is Sharanagati? Sharanagati is a very, very important topic for all devotees. Sharanagati. What is Sharanagati? Śrīla Ṭhākura says, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Jive Doya Kari. He is very merciful to all of us. Very merciful to all of us. Why? Because Swaparshada Shviyadhama Saha Avatari. He has incarnated along with his Parshads and along with his Navadvip Dhama. Swaparshada Shviyadhama Saha Avatari. He is very merciful. And what does Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do after he comes? Atyanta durlabha prema kori vareda. Atyanta durlabha prema. This Krishna prema, which is very, very rare in this world. What is he doing? Is he selling it? No. Kori vareda. He is giving it for free. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna prema Pradaya. He is giving it for free. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving Krishna prema to all of us for free. Atyanta durlabha prema kori paretan. Shikaya sharanagati bhakatera prana. But what is the qualification to receive this prema? There should be sharanagati. And this sharanagati, because it gives us Krishna prema, is very dear to the devotees. Bhakatera prana. The bhajan goes on. It will take a lot of time to explain the whole bhajan. So we will not do that because we have to discuss about Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Goswami Mahārāj Śrīla Prabhupada today. Because tomorrow is his Avirbhav Tithi, his appearance day. But we sang this bhajan instead of Jai Radha Madhav today because Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura, he represents Sharanagati. He is the personification of Sharanagati. Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura. We'll see how that is. Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura is the son of the Vaishnava Acharya who wrote this bhajan, who wrote this Sharanagati Gita. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura was very much active in the field of Gaudiya Vaishnavism from 1860 up to 1913, when he disappeared from this world. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. Around 1860 to 1913. Between these years, he was spiritually very active. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. Preaching, writing books, doing so many things, missionary activities. But Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, he found that there was a great problem in this society. 500 years ago, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, appeared in Bengal, in India. And he preached this message of pure devotion. But after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disappeared, there was great chaos in society. Lot of wrong philosophies were proliferating. There were 13 Apasampradayas. And they were preaching very strongly. And the pure Siddhanta taught by Sri Rup Sri Raghunath Goswamis was practically lost. It was pushed to the sidelines. And these Apasampradayas took prominence. Arya Samaj took prominence. Christianity took prominence. Islam took prominence. And pure Gaudiya Vaishnavism was pushed to the sidelines. If anyone claimed to be Gaudiya Vaishnava, they were considered to be fools, sentimentalists. Because the entire reputation of Gaudiya Vaishnavism had been ruined because of so-called followers of Gaudiya Vaishnavism who were not following the pure Siddhanta of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura was a grihastha with more than 10 children, and he had a full-time job as a magistrate in the court, in the British court system. He tried his level best to bring about a revolution in society and to revive the pure Prem Sankirtan, Prem Nam Sankirtan, Prem Harinam Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur tried his best. He established Namahattas, did so many things. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Ekakiya amar nahi paya bala harinama sankirtane. Alone I cannot do it. Oh, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, please send me Swaparsha. Please send me one of your associates to help. I need help. And therefore, he had Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura as his child. His name was Shri Bimala Prasad. And he was born in Jagannath Puri Dham. And Bimala Prasad, from his childhood, he was extraordinary. He was a ray of Vishnu. He was a Mahapurush. He had all the signs of a Mahapurush. Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura. He had a glowing complexion. He had long arms. He had lotus eyes. Big palms. He had all the signs of a Mahapurush. He was born with his umbilical cord like a Brahmin thread wrapped around his body. Very divine personality, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura. Bimala Prasad. Soon after his birth, he was born on the Tithi of tomorrow. Tomorrow is his appearance day, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura. So he appeared in February. And Rath Yatra takes place in May or June. So few months after his birth, when he was around 5 months old, Jagannath Rath Yatra took place. And the Rath was going to pass in front of the house of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And the Jagannath, Baldev Subhadra, the Rath Yatra, it came and Jagannath's Rath stopped right in front of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. So Bhagavati Devi, she picked up Bimal Prasad and ran out to the Rath. And she was allowed to go near Jagannath and she placed Bimal Prasad at the lotus feet of Lord Jagannath Swami. And as soon as she did that, the garland of Jagannath fell on Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura, indicating that he was a partial of the Supreme Lord. He was a ray of Vishnu. He was a ray of Vishnu. And at that time, Jagannath's Mahaprasad, rice, bhat, was taken and his Anna Prashana Samskar was done right there. During Rath Yatra with Jagannath Mahaprasad, our Bimal Prasad. He actually got Bimal Prasad. He got the Mahaprasad. Bimla Devi, who eats the remnants of Lord Jagannath. When Sri Bimala Prasad was quite young, a very amazing incident happened. And this incident is not very well known among devotees. So I would like to narrate this very extraordinary incident that took place. As we discussed, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had more than 10 children. One of them was Achyutananda, elder brother of Bimala Prasad. From Achyutananda, Bimala Prasad was the fourth child. Achyutananda was born from the first wife of Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahārāj, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. His second wife was Bhagavati Devi. So from his first wife, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had this son called Achyutananda. And Achyutananda was born with a tilak mark on his forehead. It was faintly visible when he was born. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, this is from an article that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote. Achyutananda was born in the year 1860. And he was born with a very divine tilak mark. But soon after birth, the tilak mark disappeared. It disappeared. And Achyutananda, he grew up like a nice, intelligent boy. He was very kind to everyone. He was generous. And he had many good qualities. By the age of 18, he was married. As in those days, children used to get married at an early age. And within few years, he had 2 daughters and 1 son, Achyutananda. He completed his education in a British school in the English medium. And after graduating, he took up a government job, Achyutananda. He performed this government job for 2 years. So he was in his 20s. And suddenly, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's son, Achyutananda, he developed a psychiatric disorder. He went insane. And started behaving like a madman. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur got many Ayurvedic Vaidyas, Ayurvedic doctors to treat him. But nothing worked. When nothing worked, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur took him to the British doctors. And allopathic medicine was tried. Nothing worked. And he remained insane. And his insanity got worse and worse and worse to the point he had to quit his government job and he became an invalid. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's son. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself writes this article about when his son passed away, Achyutananda passed away, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote this. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur did not know what to do with his son. He had a wife, he had 3 children, he was young in his 20s and he was completely insane. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur kept him in the house and he and his wife 24/7 took care of Achyutananda. He was like a baby, just lying in bed, 26, 25-year-old man. They had to do everything for him. Then he got influenza. Achyutananda got sick with influenza. He got fever and he was really sick. So there was no treatment in those days for influenza. There was no Tamiflu. So he was just treated with whatever medicines they had and his condition got worse and worse and worse. He had given up eating and drinking since he had fallen sick. He was not eating, drinking anything, just lying there in bed. So he had become extremely weak. He could not even open his eyes. He could not speak. Achyutananda. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was in the office, in the court, doing his work. And suddenly Achyutananda's health took a turn for the worse. It seemed like he is going to die within no time. At that time, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, my son, Bimala Prasad, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's 4th son, Bimala Prasad, he came and sat down next to Achyutananda. And he chanted 64 rounds in the ear of Achyutananda. Bimala Prasad. 1 lakh name. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes 1 lakh name. It could be 58 rounds, it could be 64 rounds. Chanted 64, 1 lakh name in the ear of Achyutananda. And then took up kartals and for 1 prahar, 3 hours, Bimal Prasad did Hare Krishna Mahamantra loud kirtan in the room. By that time, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, I came. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, by that time I came from office. I came home and I saw my son dying, Achyutananda. And Bimal Prasad is sitting and doing kirtan. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, with my own eyes, I saw great personalities like Shripad Ramanujacharya in the room. The tilak on the forehead of Achyutananda reappeared. A glowing Brahmin thread appeared on his body. He said, I saw this with my own eyes. And many great acharyas were in that room. Their effulgence was so brilliant that it was hard, it was glaring, it was hard to see anything else. And Bimala Prasad, with his eyes closed, was doing Harinam Sankirtan. At that time, my son Achyutananda, who had not spoken in days, who had not eaten or taken any water in days, spoke to me. And he says, Father, Hare Krishna. Achyutananda had never uttered the name of God throughout his life. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, he had no inclination for Hari Bhajan. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Achyutananda all his life had no inclination for Hari Bhajan. And he said, Hare Krishna. And Achyutananda told Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the only real thing in this whole world is Harinam. In my previous life, my dear father, I was a very exalted Shri Vaishnava living in Sri Rangam. I was a Sri Vaishnava, initiated Sri Vaishnava devotee, and I was a worshipper of Lord Vishnu, Lord Mahārāj, Sri Ranganath Swami. I met some Gaudiya Vaishnava devotees, and we had a discussion about the philosophy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I got angry at Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and I criticized Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Achyutananda is telling Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I criticized Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I criticized the philosophy of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and I told them the Sri Vaishnava Siddhanta is superior. The Sri Vaishnavas are more pure. Achyutananda said to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, after I spoke that, I fell down. And I died because of that Vaishnava Aparadha. But because I had done Hari Bhajan, and Neha Bhikka Panashosti Prattavayana Vidyate, because Hari Bhajan never gets destroyed. Even if you do Vaishnava Aparadha, our spiritual credits don't get destroyed, they get covered, they will never get destroyed. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. But Vaishnava Aparadha covers up our, we lose access to our Bhakti Sukrati. We are lost. So he said, I was born in a Gaudiya Vaishnava family because I had been a Vaishnava in my previous life. I was born as your son, Ṭhākura Mahārāj. Achyutananda is telling Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And because I heard Shuddha Naam, 1 lakh Shuddha Naam from Vimal Prasad. Vimal Prasad was not even initiated. He is just Vimal Prasad. But so Parshad Shuyadhama Saha Avatari. He is a Nitya Parshad of Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. Because I heard Shuddha Naam, his Shuddha Naam was so powerful that my Vaishnava Aparadha got washed away. Hari sthane aparadhe tare hari nama toma sthane aparadhe nahi paritrana. If we offend Krishna, Krishna Naam will save us. Hari sthane aparadhe tare hari nama. Chinnarottama Das Thakur writes. But Toma sthane aparadhe, oh Vaishnava Thakur, if someone commits Vaishnava Aparadha, nahi paritrana. There is no treatment. There is no antidote. So he had to suffer. He fell down, he lost his Vaishnava qualities, he died, he had to take another birth where he had no inclination for Hari Bhajan. And he went insane. And he suffered insanity for years. He had become emaciated because of not being able to. He suffered so much. But because he had Bhakti Sukrati, he had a father like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and a brother like Vimal Prasad. And by hearing 1 lakh Shuddha Naam straight in the ear from his brother, Vimal Prasad, Achyutananda, his entire spiritual potency was revived. His Vaishnava, Shri Vaishnava Tilak appeared, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I saw, he says, I saw. It was Shri Vaishnava Tilak, Dvadashi Tilak, at 12 Christmas morning. Hare Krishna. And divine personalities like Sripad Ramanujacharya and the Sri Vaishnava Acharyas were present in that room. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, as my son Vimal Prasad was doing Harinam Sankirtan, after 3 prahar, the Sri Vaishnava Acharyas took my son back home, back to Godhead. And Achyutananda offered his obeisances to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and said, please give me permission. Now I am cured of my Vaishnava Aparadha. Now I am going back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. This is the power of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Goswami Mahārāj Prabhupada. Such a powerful Acharya. Such a powerful Acharya. In the spiritual world, our Acharyas tell us that he is Nayana Mani Manjari, assistant of Sri Kamala Manjari, who is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Kamala Manjari is one of the main assistants of Sri Rupa Manjari in Golok Vrindavan. This is the exalted position of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur. And Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur in the very first meeting, at the very first Gaudiya Math, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur established how many Gaudiya Maths?
64.
64. The first Gaudiya Math was at Gadādhara Junction in Kolkata. It was a rented property. Now ISKCON
Brought that.
Yes. Fortunately, ISKCON has brought that historical place. That place vibrates with the bhajan of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur. And all the senior followers of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura. In 1922, what year is it now? Yes. This year is the 100th anniversary of this historical meeting between Śrīla Prabhupada and Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupada. Our Prabhupada and Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupada. In 1922, exactly 100 years ago, at the first Gaudiya Math, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupada, first time when he saw Abhay Babu, who had been literally dragged by his dear friend Narendra Nath Malik, come, meet this sadhu, very nice sadhu has come. As soon as he saw, he was offering obeisances. Abhay Babu, Abhay Charan Dey. He said, you are a very nice educated boy. You should take this mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and spread it all over the world. The very first meeting. And this was also the last instruction of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura. The final letter that he wrote in 1936, December 1936, he said, you should preach in the English language all over the world. This will do you good and it will do good to the whole world. That was the last letter that Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura wrote to our Prabhupada. And Śrīla Prabhupada so wonderfully took that instruction to his heart and established how many temples? 108. 108 temples Śrīla Prabhupada established all over the world of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. When Śrīla Prabhupada, he was traveling all over the world as the jet age Parivrajaka. He was traveling all over the world. He came to Sridham Vrindavan, which Śrīla Prabhupada said is my eternal home. Sridham Vrindavan. Krishna Balaram Mandir construction was going on, and one afternoon after taking lunch prasad, Śrīla Prabhupada was sitting chanting japa. A sadhu came to the temple. Prabhupada's personal servant was His Grace Brahmananda Prabhu. And he asked Brahmananda Prabhu, can I please meet your Gurudev, your Acharya of the ISKCON? Can I meet him? Brahmananda Prabhu said, let me ask our founder Acharya, let me ask Śrīla Prabhupada. Brahmananda Prabhu went inside and he asked Śrīla Prabhupada, there is a sadhu, he is wearing saffron clothes, he wants to meet you. Can he come in? Śrīla Prabhupada said, yes, bring me in. This sadhu came and he offered obeisances to Śrīla Prabhupada. And even as he was offering obeisances, Śrīla Prabhupada asked him, what is your name? Have you taken sannyas? Śrīla Prabhupada asked. He said, no, I have not taken sannyas. Prabhupada immediately said, I will give you sannyas. Anyone knows who this devotee is? Shri Srimad Gaur Govinda Mahārāj. Shri Srimad Gaur Govinda Mahārāj. Srila Gaur Govinda Mahārāj was also a very, very extraordinary personality. He was born in the family of devotees, descending from Sri Narottam Das Ṭhākura and Sri Shyamananda Pandit. In Odisha, Shyamananda Pandit did amazing preaching. And he created a Nam Sankirtan movement in Odisha, in India. And the descendants of those disciples of Sri Shyamananda Pandit, in that family, in one family actually coming from Sri Narottam Das Ṭhākura, Srila Gaur Govinda Mahārāj appeared. From his childhood, he was extraordinary. All his family, especially from the mother's side, they were worshippers of Gopalji in Gadaigiri, a small town, village in Orissa. His maternal uncle, he was the pujari of Gopal. And afternoon, they would put Gopal to rest. Just like in the afternoon, our Radha Madan Mohan, Gaur Nitai, Jagannath, Baldesubhadra also take rest. Isn't it? For 2 hours they take rest. And in the evening again the pujaris come and they open the darshan. They make a fruit offering. So similarly, Gopal used to take rest every afternoon. And one evening, Srila Gaur Govinda Mahārāj's uncle came to open the temple of Gopal. At that time, Gaur Govinda Mahārāj was 5 years old. He opened the door and the deity of Gopal was not there. Please have faith, my dear friends. This is a true story. Gopal was not there in the temple. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj's uncle got panicky. Where is Gopal? He is a many century old deity, almost 5-6 century old, self-manifested deity from Vrindavan who had come to Gadādhara. Where is Gopal? Where is Gopal? He started looking in the backyard of the temple, where there was the agricultural land of Gopal, where crops would be grown for Gopal's seva. Flowers would be grown, vegetables would be grown. He looked, and in the field where the crops were, Gopal was running and playing with Brajbandhu, a 5-year-old boy, who later on became Gaur Govind Maharaj. Gaur Govind Maharaj as a child used to play with Gopal. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj as a 5-year-old boy used to play with Gopal. This is Gaur Govind Maharaj. When his eldest child became 9, his son became 19 years old, Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj left family life and he left home. Because the 19-year-old son was able to manage the family affairs. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj was school teacher. He quit his job, left his family and said, I want to find a Sadguru. I want to find my spiritual master. For 1 year he travelled all over India searching for a guru. Finally he came to Vrindavan and he met Srila Prabhupada. And he knew in his heart. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj said that I want to take sannyas. That's why I left family. But he did not tell anyone that he wants to take sannyas. And Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj said, when I meet my guru will know my heart. I will not ask him for sannyas, but he will tell me I will give you sannyas. And he met so many gurus. But when he was offering obeisances to Srila Prabhupada said, what is your name? Have you taken sannyas? No, Prabhupada, I have not taken sannyas. I will give you sannyas. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj said, this is my guru. He surrendered his life to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj. Very great Acharya. He came to Atlanta in the year 1992. Gita Mataji, were you there? Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj came to your house? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj gave some lectures in Atlanta temples, in this temple. Some of those lectures have been transcribed and they are presented in the form of a book, Mathura Meets Vrindavan and Embankment of Separation. Very beautiful books. In that book, Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj describes a very wonderful pastime of Jagannath. That chapter is called 3 Logs of Wood. In the book, Embankment of Separation. 3 logs of wood. In the year 1996, in the same month of February 1996, the GBC meetings were going on in Śrīla Mayapur, in the ISKCON Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj, one of our Gurujan, GBCs, he had gone there for the meetings. He chanted his 16 rounds in the morning, he went for the GBC meetings, came back in the evening, and he was sitting in his room, and it is described he was chanting. He chanted another 2 hours, another 16 rounds. He was sitting and chanting japa. And 2 senior devotees came to Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj's room in Śrīla Mayapur. And Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj's disciple Bhaktaru Prabhu was also there. Several other devotees were there. And these devotees asked Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj a question. They said, Maharaj, we have a question for you. So Maharaj said, yes. So Maharaj was sitting on the bed and these 2 devotees were sitting on the floor. They were his god sisters, these 2 devotees. They were Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj's god sisters. They said, Maharaj, we have a question. Why did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu choose Jagannath Puri as his residence after taking sannyas? External reason is Shachi Mata ordered him. That is external. What is the internal reason? We want to know. Such a deep question. There are so many dhams. There is Vrindavan Dham, there is Dwarka Dham, there is Badrinath, there is Rameshwaram. There are so many holy places in the country of India. There is Śrīla. So many holy, beautiful places. Why did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu choose Jagannath Puri to live for the last 18 years of his life as a sannyasi? Why? What is the internal reason? Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj felt great excitement when this question was asked. Śrīla Gour Mahārāj said, in Dwarka, one time Krishna was feeling intense separation from Sri Vrindavan. And Krishna fainted in his ecstasy in Dwarka. And Uddhava, Balram and Narad Muni, they found Krishna in Dwarka lying on the ground in a state of ecstasy. And he was chanting Radha, 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 Radha. With every breath, Krishna was chanting Radha, 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 Radha. So Uddhav said, Krishna is feeling intense separation from Vrindavan, as he often does. Narad Muni bajaye veena Radhika Ramana naam. Oh Narad Muni, you chant songs glorifying Radha and Krishna. Radhika Ramana, Radha Ramana. You sing songs of Vrindavan and immediately Krishna will be revived. Narad Muni, come on, start playing your veena. Revive Krishna, revive Krishna. Narad Muni said, I will certainly do that. But see, Krishna is feeling separation from Vrindavan. As soon as Krishna wakes up from his ecstasy, he will want to run to Sri Vrindavan Dham. Then what will we do? What will we do? So we have to be ready. Let's prepare a chariot for Krishna so that as soon as he wakes up, immediately we can take him to Vrindavan. Otherwise Krishna will start running. Imagine Dwarkadish running on the streets of Dwarka. Vrindavan, Vrindavan Dham, Radha, Radha. That will not be good. Let's prepare a chariot and keep it ready. Let's call Daruk, the chariot here, and keep the driver and the chariot ready for Krishna. Balramji said, very good idea. Let's do that. But then Balramji said, but I have a point to make. If Krishna goes to Vrindavan suddenly like this, sitting on the chariot with Daruk, Krishna will see the situation of the Brajvasis. I have just come from Vrindavan a few years ago. Krishna had sent me to Vrindavan. And the Vrajvasis are in a pathetic situation. They are crying in separation from Krishna. I have seen the rivers of tears of Nanda and Yashoda. In fact, when I went home from Nanda Bhavan, two streams were coming out. One was the tears of Nanda Baba, the other one was tears of Yashoda Maya. The gopis were crying, the gopas were crying, everyone is crying. We should not let Krishna see the Vrajvasis in such a pathetic situation. So someone should go and warn the Vrajvasis. Give them the good news that Krishna is coming so that they will be in a happy mood and Krishna will find them in a happy mood. Let's do this. They all agree, yes, very good idea. Narad Muni says, Uddhav, you go. Uddhav, you go. You are very dear to Krishna. You know Krishna's heart. You go and tell the Brajvasis. You know them. You tell the Brajvasis that Krishna is coming. So they will be very happy. Uddhav says, yes, I will go. I will go. I will go to Vrindavan. I will tell the Vrajvasis that Krishna is finally coming back to Vrindavan. But Uddhav says there is a problem. I have already been to Vrindavan. I have already been to Vrindavan. When we were in Mathura, at that time Krishna had sent me to Vrindavan as his messenger. And at that time I had seen the tears, the agony of the Brajvasis. I tried to pacify them in different ways. I told them, meditate on Krishna. Krishna is present everywhere. But none of my preaching worked. The Brajvasis were so absorbed in Krishna that seeing their tears, I thought, oh Krishna, please give me also this Brajbhav. Give me also these tears. Because the love, the prem that the Brajvasis have is unprecedented. I also want that love. Finally, not being able to pacify them, I promised the Brajvasis that I am going to Mathura and I promise I am going to send Krishna back to Vrindavan very soon. Within a few days, Krishna will come back to Vrindavan. I promised, I gave my word to the Brajvasis. And I came to Mathura. When I came to Mathura, I told Krishna, Krishna, you must go back to Vrindavan. The Brajvasis cannot live without you. And Krishna said, yes, yes, I will go, I will go. But he never went. So if I go now to Vrindavan and I tell the Brajvasis again, Krishna is coming, they will not believe me. They will not believe me. So I cannot go. Narad Muni tells Balram, you go. Balram said, yes, I will go. I will meet Nanda Baba. I will meet Mother Yashoda. I will meet the gopis and I will tell them that Krishna is coming. But there is a problem. Even like Uddhav, even I have been to Vrindavan. Few years ago, from Dwarka, Krishna sent me to Vrindavan. I went and I stayed there for 2 months. For 2 months I tried to pacify the Brajvasis, but I could not. I could not stop their tears. All they want is Krishna. Finally, I promised them. I said, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Baba, I am Dauji. I am the elder brother of Krishna. He may not listen to others. He may not listen to Uddhav, but he has to listen to me. I am his elder brother. He has to listen to me. That's why in this incarnation I came as the elder brother. Previously I was Lakshman. But I am the elder brother. I will convince Krishna, and I promise you, I will send Krishna from Dwarka to Vrindavan. In few days, Krishna will be back in Vrindavan. Please have faith in my words. I am going and I am sending Krishna here. I gave my promise to the Vrajvasis. I came to Dwarka and I told Krishna, Krishna, stop everything. Forget about everything. Just go to Vrindavan. The Vrajvasis cannot live any longer without you. They are like dead corpses moving around in Vrindavan. They don't eat. They don't drink any water. They don't speak. They are just thinking of you, and constant tears are flowing from their eyes. Please, Krishna, go to Vrindavan. Nothing is so important. Just go to Vrindavan now. Krishna said, Dauji, yes, I will go. I will go. Just let me finish some important work, then I will go. And my dear Narad, my dear Uddhav, it has been several years and Krishna has still not gone to Vrindavan. If I go again to Vrindavan and tell them that Krishna is coming, they will not have faith in my words either. It won't work. We have to find someone else. At that time, Srimati Subhadra Devi came there, the sister of Krishna. She said, I will go. I will go to Vrindavan. Prepare a rath for me. I will go to Vrindavan. You are men. The gopis will not have faith in your words. But when I go, they will have faith in my words. So I will go. Balram said, this is a fantastic idea, but I will not let you go alone. I am your elder brother. I will go before you. My rath will go, and then behind me, your rath will follow. And I will take you, I will escort you to Vrindavan. Together we will go, and you give them the news. I will stand outside, you go inside and give the news to the Brajvasis that Krishna is coming. Narad Muni said, great idea. Balramji, you go, Subhadra Maiya, you follow behind Balramji. I will sing Braj songs for Krishna. I will bring him back to external consciousness, and Uddhav will keep Daruk and the Rath here ready. As soon as Krishna comes back to external consciousness, we will bring him to Vrindavan. And there Subhadra Devi will already keep all the Brajvasis happy, excited. Subhadra Devi said, yes, I will go, I will tell the Brajvasis Krishna is coming, but I will tell them, on the way so many kingdoms are there, and in every kingdom they want to offer Aarti to Krishna. So he is delayed, he is coming, he is on his way. And I will keep them ready. We will decorate Vrindavan with beautiful flower garlands, with water pots, with different fragrances. The peacocks, the parrots, everyone will be ready to welcome their Krishna back into Vrindavan. I will go and prepare everything. And Subhadra got on her chariot. Balramji got on his chariot. And Balramji's chariot started moving. And right behind him followed the chariot of Subhadra Devi. And therefore, my dear friends, Srila Gaur Govind Mahārāj was saying, even today, in Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra, first Balramji's Rath goes, then Subhadra, and then Krishna. This is followed even today. This is the reason. So they both started ahead. Narad Muni started playing his veena, started chanting beautiful Vraj songs. And immediately Krishna, he came back to external consciousness. He said, Radha, Radha, Vrindavan, Vrindavan, Vrindavan. I am in Vrindavan, I am in Vrindavan. Singing, hearing the Vraj songs being sung by Narad Muni, Krishna thought that he is in Vrindavan. He said, I am in Vrindavan, I am in Vrindavan. Oh Narad, you have also come to Vrindavan. Uddhav, what are you doing in Vrindavan? What are you doing in Vrindavan? Uddhav said, Vrindavan is very close by, your chariot is ready. Krishna, get on the chariot, we are all going to Vrindavan, let's go to Vrindavan. And they picked up Krishna, put him on the chariot, and Daruk started. He whipped the horses started. And the chariot started from Dwarka to Vrindavan, full speed. And Krishna was in such deep anticipation, I am going to Vrindavan, I am going to meet Radharani, Radha, Radha, Vrindavan, Vrindavan. Ahead, Balramji and Subhadra Maiya have already reached Vrindavan. They reach Vrindavan, and as soon as they go, they reach Nidhuvan first. And there they see lot of commotion. What is the commotion? All the gopis have surrounded Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is lying on the lap of Lalita Sakhi. And Vishakha Sakhi is standing close by, holding a wisp of cotton under the nose of Radharani to see if she is still breathing, if she is still alive. All the Ashtasakhis are sitting and they are massaging Radharani's lotus feet. Some are fanning Radharani, some are chanting Sham, 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 Krishna, Krishna, Krishna in her ears. But Radharani is not waking up. Radharani is almost appears like she is lifeless. Everybody is crying. Everyone is crying. And seeing the love, seeing the Mahabhava of Srimati Radharani, seeing the love of the gopis, just breathing the air of Vrindavan, touching the dust of Vrindavan, Subhadra Devi, who has never been to Vrindavan, she goes in ecstasy. Balramji, seeing the love of the gopis, seeing his beloved Vrindavan Dham, Balramji goes into ecstasy. Now please listen carefully, my dear friends. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj says, the spiritual body is not different from the heart. For us, there is a difference between our heart, our mind, our intelligence, our gross body. We have a subtle body and we have a gross body, covering our spiritual soul. But is that the same thing for Krishna Balaram? No. Their body is Satchidananda Vigraha. So what is in the heart is the state of the body. So if the heart is in ecstasy, what will happen to the body? If the heart is getting dravit, if the heart is melting with love, what is going to happen to the body? Body will also melt. And when Balaram saw the love of Vrindavan, the love of the Brajvasis, when he saw the love of the gopis for Krishna, he saw their Mahabhava, Balaram's body started melting. His hands started entering into his body, his eyes became big, looking at Vrindavan. And he went into a state of ecstasy. Same thing happened to Subhadra Devi. And that is when Krishna arrived. That is when Krishna arrived. Krishna jumped out from his chariot. Radha, 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 where is Radha? And Krishna went running to the area where the gopis were surrounding Radharani. He went through them. They made way for him. And he saw Radha, Shri Radha. At that time, the breeze from Krishna's body, the fragrance of Krishna's body, which is sweeter than a mixture of sandalwood, aguru, musk and kesar. The fragrance, the transcendental fragrance of Krishna's body went, wafted through the air, Vrindavan air, and entered the divine transcendental nostrils of Srimati Radharani. As soon as Srimati Radharani experienced the fragrance of Krishna, she opened her eyes. But by this time, Krishna had fainted in ecstasy. Seeing Srimati Radharani after such a long separation, Krishna had fainted in ecstasy and Krishna was lying on the ground. And now the gopis are attending to Krishna. Srimati Radharani went in front of her Prananath, her Pranavallabh Krishna. And Lalita Sakhi whispered in the ears of Krishna, Shri Radha, Shri Radha, Shri Radha, Shri Radha. Immediately Krishna opened his eyes and right in front of him was Srimati Radharani. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj is describing this to the two Matajis who have come to his room. He said at that time there was eye-to-eye union between Krishna and Shri Radhika in Nidhuvan, in Vrindavan, surrounded by the Ashtasakis. When Radha and Krishna's eyes met, there was an eye-to-eye union. Everyone was there, so Radha and Krishna could not say or do anything, but heart to heart, through their eyes they took each other in the heart and there was a heart-to-heart embrace. Radha and Krishna embraced heart to heart. As Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj was describing this, Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj choked up. He could not speak anymore. And it seemed like he could not breathe. So he said, so Radha and Krishna had eye-to-eye union, eye-to-eye union, eye-to-eye union. And Krishna was so ecstatic to be reunited with Radharani that he told Radharani that Shri Radhe, I will never leave you. I will always be with you in Vrindavan. But this form of mine where I experienced your Mahabhava, seeing you in Mahabhava, I experienced Mahabhava, my eyes became big, my hands started entering my body. This form of mine, I was like a log of wood. Please listen carefully. Krishna is telling Radharani, I became like a log of wood floating in the ocean of Radha Prem. I became like a log of wood floating in the ocean of Radha Prem. Not Bay of Bengal. Radha Prem. Krishna told Radharani that this log of wood with the other two logs of wood, Subhadra and Baldev, we will eternally reside on the banks of the ocean, floating in the ocean of Radha Prem, these three logs of wood will eternally reside in Sri Jagannath Puri Dham as Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra, and I will always stay with you in Vrindavan. Krishna said like that. And then he said, one day Radharani, I will take your bhav, I will take Radha bhav, and I will appear as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I will also go to Jagannath Puri Dham, where Jagannath is staying. He is Krishna, experiencing Mahabhav because of separation from Radharani. Who is Jagannath? He is Dwarkadhish Krishna feeling separation from Radharani. And Krishna says, I will take another form. Jai Gaura, say Krishna, say Jagannath. I will go as Gaura, as Gauranga Mahaprabhu with Radha Bhav. I am also Krishna, but with Radha Bhav. And I will go to Jagannath Puri in the mood of Radharani, who is feeling separation from Krishna. Who is Jagannath? He is Krishna, Dwarkadhish Krishna feeling separation from Radharani. And who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He is Radharani feeling separation from Krishna. And in Jagannath Puri, we will have an eye-to-eye union every day. As Jagannath, I will stand near Gadur Stamba and I will take your darshan. I will take darshan of Jagannath. And we will have, just like we had eye-to-eye union, we will have eye-to-eye union in Jagannath Puri. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna, feeling the mood of Radharani, feeling separation from Krishna, I will stay in Jagannath Puri. And Srila Gaur Govinda Mahārāj said, that is why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to stay in Jagannath Puri. So that eye-to-eye union can take place between Jagannath, who is Krishna feeling separation from Radharani, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna in Radha Bhav, feeling separation from Krishna. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is standing at the Garud Stamba every day taking darshan of Jagannath, this is what is happening, eye-to-eye union. When Gaur Govinda Mahārāj said this, he choked up. Tears of love started flowing through his eyes, and he laid down on the bed. He said, I cannot speak any further. He said, I cannot speak any further. And immediately Bhaktarup Prabhu and other devotees started fanning Gaur Govinda Mahārāj. Gaur Govinda Mahārāj said, bring me the photo of Gopal. Gopal is the Ishtadev of Srila Gaur Govinda Mahārāj. He said, bring me the photo of Gopal. And then gazing at the beautiful photo of Gopal Ji, Srila Gaur Govinda Mahārāj, he left this world. And tomorrow, on the appearance day of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura, tomorrow is also the Tirobhav Tithi, the disappearance day of Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Mahārāj. So with this, my dear friend, this is our dhara. This is our dhara. Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Ṭhākura, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Mahārāj, Srila Prabhupada, and all our ISKCON Guru Varga. This is the dhara. This is the current that we are representing. It is not a joke. We should not take it lightly. This is not a movement of just coming and eating prasad and making merry. This is the path of pure devotional service. Rupanuga, Raganuga Bhakti is what is being given to us. It is the highest spiritual realization to be attained for any human being. This is being given to us. That's why we were singing in the beginning. What are we singing? Atyanta durlabha prema kori bare dana shikhaye sharanagati bhakatera pran. This is the connection. So thank you very much, dear devotees. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. ISKCON Guru Varga ki Jai. Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Goswami Mahārāj Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.